Ladies and gentlemen and ladies, right when it seems like the Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban drama, it's slightly starting to calm down a little, it's getting brought back up. Why is that, you may ask? Well, I guess you could say it has a little to do with Nick Saban has just stolen Jimbo's top quarterback recruit. This is some big time stuff because this quarterback is one of the top quarterbacks in the country and he was committed to Texas A&M for months. Of course, Nick Saban in Alabama, they probably wanted him bad, but I feel like they wanted him even more with everything that went on. We've got a lot to talk about with that situation. We've also got two other major topics going on, one of them involving the SEC talking about making their own playoff and an Arch Manning update. We all know Arch, he's a part of the Manning family and he's one of the most sought after quarterback recruits of all time. And the SEC playoff that's in the talks, it is very confusing and there's a lot to it. If you're new to the channel or you simply been watching and you're not subscribed, I would greatly appreciate it if you do consider subscribing. We're on the road to 200K and we're super close. Most of you know we like to play this game to see how many new subscribers we can gain. In yesterday's video, I said subscribe and I'll tell you in the next one, and we've already gained over 500. 500 freaking subscribers. If you're one of those, I greatly appreciate it. Welcome to the family and hope you continue to enjoy the content moving forward. Let's try it again on this video. If you're new to the channel or, like I said, simply not subscribed, here's that subscribe button, and however many subs we gain from this video, I'll tell you in the next one, or maybe in 2 or 3 days. I hope you guys are as excited to get into this video as I am, and now without further ado, let's get into it. I'm telling you right now, all three of these topics we're going to go over, they're insanely interesting, but I think the most interesting one, at least to me, is the SEC playoff situation. I think about half of you are going to know what's going on, but there's also a lot of people that have no idea what's going on, and I'm really curious. I want your opinion on this. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about this, but I wanted to get it out the way first. Like I was saying, the SEC is having serious and legit conversations about making their own playoff. Just like any other conference, the Pac-12, ACC, Big 10, Big 12, they have meetings every couple of weeks or couple of months. And currently right now, as to when I'm speaking, they're already talking about making this a possibility. There's mixed emotions about it, and rightfully so. It sounds sketchy. If you don't know who Greg Sankey is, that's the commissioner of the SEC. He runs everything. And he's made it very clear, dating back to last year, he wants to expand the playoff to 8 teams or more. He's actually even came out and said he's furious and he's mad with the way things have turned out in the playoff system. Whoa. Hold on. I know what some of you are probably saying, and I was thinking the same thing. Why in the heck would the SEC commissioner be upset about the college football playoff when the SEC has been dominating it? I get it, I'm in the same boat, but he's looking at the bigger picture. It's not really good for the SEC to be dominating it. He wants college football as a whole to succeed, and I respect that. He's one of the guys who wants the playoff to expand, and those talks have been thrown out the window, so I guess he's taking matters into his own hands. He's already came out and stated the SEC already has 40 different models for their quote-unquote playoff. Here's something else he said. I'm going to read it off word for word, and I found this really smart, and I gotta applaud him for it. Greg Sankey said, "We need to engage in blue sky thinking, which is detached from reality. What are the full range of possibilities?" That's a great mentality. You always want to dream bigger and shoot for the stars. You got to try to define the odds. But I'm also looking at it from this standpoint. You don't want to fix what's not broke. The way the SEC is operating right now, it's not broke, and the way the college football playoff system is, you may not like 4 teams, I personally don't like it, but it's working, so why fix it? The goal of the playoff, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's to get the 2 best teams playing in the championship, and I feel like we've had that every single year. You may not like seeing Alabama run through it, you may not like seeing Clemson, Georgia, Ohio State run through it and get there every year, but they're the best teams. There's a lot of other boring details in my opinion that I'm just not going to go over. To make a long story short, this isn't going to happen anytime soon. The soonest it would happen would be in 2025 or 2026. That's why I don't want to spend too much time talking about it, but here's an example of what could happen. This is the most logical one, and I'm going to throw it up on the screen right now. Everybody in the SEC will play a 12-game regular season, and then you'll have the said playoff. You'll have 8 teams, and you'll have the number 1 seed out of the West playing the number 4 seed out of the East, and it's vice versa. It's not really complicated, it's a playoff, but I do want to bring it up in this video because I did find it interesting. Here's the real question that everybody's trying to find out about all of this. What good's going to come out of it? Whenever you have an idea that comes in your mind, you think of this first. Okay, how is this going to benefit me and how is it going to benefit my business? As everybody is starting to slowly realize, college football and college in general, it's a business. I'll take it a step farther. College is one of the best businesses in the world. They've been scamming 18-year-old kids out of $200,000 debts for years and nobody talks about it. You want to talk about a great business, that's college. College football fans have now just seen that because all these players are starting to get money. With that being said, from a business perspective for the SEC, is this a good thing and are they going to benefit? I can't speak for you and it's why I'm asking the question, but as a college football fan, as an SEC fan, I would love this. Why would I love this? It's fairly simple. I love watching college football. Another reason I think it'd be a great idea is because it's something different. This would be the first time in I think the history of college football we have a conference having their own playoff. I think it turned out great from a financial standpoint. There's a lot of stuff that's going to go into it and it's much more than just making money, but you get what I'm trying to say. I would watch it, and if I think I would watch it, I think a lot of you guys would too. I watch all the college football games, so to me, the more the merrier. Bring it on. If we get to have college football from August 1st through September 30th, I'd be down for it, and I don't think I'd ever get tired of it. I'm looking at it from this standpoint, and I think Greg Sankey's thinking the same thing. Why not? Worst case scenario, it flops and it doesn't work out, you can always go back to how things were. Maybe that's me just having wishful thinking, and there is one counter argument I do want to bring up because it's a great point. The greatest counter argument you can have to it, and I know some of you are saying or thinking it right now, is that devalues the regular season. I wish I could say I disagree with you, but I can't because that'd be ludicrous for me to say. I do agree, it would devalue it, but I only think it would devalue it slightly because as a former athlete, and I know some of you can relate, I want to win every single game. I don't think just because they're going to implement a SEC playoff that Alabama's not going to try every single game or Tennessee's not going to try every single game. Athletes go out there to win. I've never talked to anybody that's played Division I or Division II sports and said, oh yeah, I didn't care about that game. For example, if Georgia's playing Western Kentucky, it may seem like a meaningless game to the fans, but the players, they're still going to give it their all. I don't really think it devalues the regular season too much, but to each their own. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section. Moving on to our second topic, we got Mr. Nick Saban and the new quarterback recruit Alabama just landed. Ironically, it was Texas A&M's former commit. Alabama has officially landed the 4-star quarterback in the class of 2023, Eli Holston. A little fun fact for you, Eli was committed to Texas A&M for months on months, and many thought he'd go there, but then he decommitted. I'm pretty sure he decommitted from March, and that's when he reopened everything. I've been keeping up with his recruitment process a lot because his process actually goes hand in hand with Arch Manning's. Because the whole debate the past couple of months is, is Alabama going to go after Eli Holston or are they going to go after Arch Manning? Because you never really want to, you do want to, but you normally don't get two great quarterbacks in one class. And dating back to 2 to 3 weeks ago, everybody at Alabama, they completely slowed down on Eli and they got him. I'm not saying Alabama couldn't get Arch Manning, but I think there's a 0.003% chance. It's probably not going to happen. I didn't see him going there in the first place, but after this, there's almost no shot. I'm not saying Alabama wouldn't take him. Of course, they love to have him, but it's almost mutual. They know it's not going to happen. And I'm kind of surprised he still announced he's going to visit there. I'll read this tweet off to you. I found it pretty funny. Somebody said, Saban backed out of the Arch Manning recruitment just so he could flip Jimbo's quarterback. I don't think Nick Saban and his staff went after Eli Holston as hard as they did because of the drama that went on, but it is a heck of a coincidence. You can't make this stuff up. Only 4 to 5 days ago, Saban and Fisher, they're going at each other's necks, and now, 5 days later, Saban steals one of his former top recruits. Here's what I am going to say, and I can guarantee you this. I do believe there was some slightly extra motivation to get this kid. From everything I've seen, he's highly regarded, but you probably noticed on this channel, I don't like to hype up high school recruits too much because once you get to college, none of that matters. He seems like a great quarterback. He's one of the top recruits. I mean, duh, Alabama doesn't offer just anybody, but it doesn't mean nothing. I gotta see how you play at the college level. Same thing with Arch Manning. He sounds great. He looks great in high school. I just don't evaluate kids until they get at the college level. It's really not fair to even try to evaluate these guys against high schoolers because a lot of these guys in high school, they'll never play football again. Only maybe like 2% of them. Arch Manning's playing against future sales representatives and insurance agents. Same thing for Eli Holston. He's playing against DoorDash drivers and plumbers. So for me to sit up here and try to hype up Arch Manning or Eli Holston, it's utterly ridiculous. They're good, and I think we can all agree we'll leave it at that for now. Let's read off these two tweets though regarding the Saban and Eli Holston thing. I found them interesting. This person said, wait, I thought Saban said it was impossible to recruit against the Aggies because of NIL and cried for parity. And then under that comment, you had a good response. Kids with their heads on straight realize they have a much better chance at the league with Saban than chasing money and going to a coach who hasn't won anything since 2013. Wow. That is facts though, and I don't want people to be misunderstood by this because if you've been watching the channel, you know I've never been a Jimbo believer. I've said this for years now. I think he's overrated and he's underperformed at A&M. Until he wins the national championship, or matter of fact, until he can win an SEC championship, I'm not a believer. He's got to prove something to me. Now, I'm not going to be one of these dysfunctional Alabama fans who say, oh yeah, he's a terrible coach, because he's not. He's a good one. Is he elite though? Is he great? No. When you're talking about elite coaches and great ones, I think of Kirby Smart, Nick Saban, and then you got Dabo Swinney. When it comes down to great coaches who could be elite, I think you got though Lincoln Riley in that mix, Ryan Day, and yeah, that's about it for that too. I'll leave it at this. We'll see what Jimbo's got this year. There's no excuse for them to not win the SEC championship and not win the national title. You got the #1 recruiting class. You got 7 5-star recruits. What's your excuse, Jimbo? Oh, I got one for you. You're not that guy. We'll see what A&M's made of. I don't like to do all that chitter chatter. We'll see. Moving on to our last and final topic, we got Arch Manning, and check this out. I really like this. Teams don't have enough money to buy Arch Manning. His family is rich. These teams have to stand on their reputations, not stacks of money. We'll see you in Athens, Georgia, Arch. Go Dogs. I really, and I mean really like that because it's honestly the truth. I don't think money's irrelevant because if Texas is going to offer him $25 million, he's going to take that. He doesn't want to be dumb. I think a lot of people have a misconception when it comes to rich families having all this money. A lot of times when these rich families have sons, they want them to go out there and make their own money. They don't hand it to them. Don't get me wrong, there is circumstances where they do spoil the kids and hand them money, but they want to build that wealth inside their mind. What a lot of people don't understand is being rich, it's not monetary, it's a mindset. And being poor, it's not monetary, it's a mindset. If you don't know what that means, I hate to break the news to you, but you're misinformed on life and I can't explain it to you. If it doesn't make sense, then maybe you have a problem. Maybe you don't have that mindset that you currently need, and I'm not calling you out, it's just the cold hard truth. You can take away all the money that Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos has made, and tomorrow they'll still be a millionaire. They know how to make the money. It's a mindset. It's in their behaviors. Going along those lines, I don't think money's a huge factor in Manning's recruitment process, but it is a small and tiny one. Going back to the tweet though, this Georgia fan, or at least I think it is, said, we'll see you in Athens, Georgia. These teams have to recruit on their reputations. I see what you were trying to say, but Georgia's reputation when it comes to quarterbacks, it's not so good, my friend. It's not just not so good, it's terrible. The 2 greatest quarterbacks you've had in the recent years, Justin Fields and JT Daniels, you didn't even play them. I don't think that's going to scare away Arch Manning, but it doesn't entice you to go there. The Arch Manning thing and Eli Holston thing, like I said earlier, it goes hand in hand because now that takes Alabama out of the mix and it's only 2 more teams left, Georgia or Texas. I've said it from day one, I'm going to say it again and beat it into your heads. I'm willing to bet he's going to Texas. If he goes to Texas and balls out, he'll be a legend forever. If he does it at Georgia, they're not going to remember him like Texas fans will. He can literally be the Lord and Savior for that Texas program, and they'll build a statue of him one day. I think he has a great opportunity at Georgia, and I also think he has a great one at Texas. There's just more benefits at Texas. There's not going to be as much pressure. You're talking about a team that went 5-7 last year. On the other hand, for Georgia, you're talking about a team that won the national championship. Their standards for quarterback play, ask Stetson Bennett. It's pretty high. May I remind you, this Georgia team and their fan base, they don't even want Bennett coming back after winning a championship. Maybe this will give you some perspective. When he announced he was coming back, fans were bashing him, they were sighing, and his star wide receiver announced he was going to transfer. Georgia's very critical of their quarterback play. Texas, they're just happy with whatever they get. If it's better than average, it's better than what they've had. I can't find it, I lost it, but I saw somewhere there's a 52% chance now that he goes to Texas and something like 45 he goes to Georgia. I have no idea why it's even that close. I'd say it's more of 80% Texas and 20 Georgia. It will be interesting to see how things turn out because honestly, I could see him at Georgia or Texas and I wouldn't be shocked. The one benefit I think Georgia has is they're not as bad and they're not rebuilding like Texas. And I think that could be a turnoff if he's thinking about going to Texas. If you're a star high school quarterback, you don't want to go into a college and a program that's rebuilding. You want to go into one that's ready to plug in and play. I do think that's where Georgia has the one up on them, so I guess we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover in this video. Let me know your thoughts on every topic down below. I'm very curious. But without that being said, peace.